Yeah, what up, y'all? It's your boy Ron Browz, and it's Ape season, and y'all watching Posse TV. Yeah.
It's C-Style pouring live from Black Star music video, the hottest store in Harlem right now. I'm my man, multi-platinum producer Ron Browz. How you doing, brother?
What's good, man? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. What you been up to?
Man, basically, I've been on the road. You know, I've been to Africa twice, been to Japan, Germany, back and forth to Germany, getting them overseas gigs going, you know what I mean? So now I'm back in the city, back in the lab. Finished, I recorded the Christening like in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. And everybody's saying it's a classic.
Wow. So who's on the album?
It's me mainly on a production. Shout out to my boy Miz. He got a couple joints on there. He did King of New York. And then the intro, the Christening intro. I mainly did all the production. I got Gruff on there. That's the only feature on there. This one, I wanted to have not really so many features because I wanted people to get to know me on this album. I think people heard like
Champagne,
single here, single there, single there. Not really a full project. And when you don't get a full project from somebody, you don't really know them. So with the Christening, introducing me to the world, full project, 17 records, all me.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Also, you got a crazy street singer right now. Ape, let's talk about that.
Yeah, Ape is heavy in the street right now, heavy underground, so street, it's just so, you know, the record is so tough, you know what I mean? Basically, me and Gruff was just in the studio, just playing beats. Gruff heard it, he just started going off. I was like, yo, let's just record that.
Wow.
He recorded his verse, I put the hook on there. He's like, yo, just say you go 8. I'm like, all right. Then I just made the hook, put my 24 bars after him. You know what I mean? Then I was kind of just like, yo, I'm just throwing it in the street. Shout out to K Slade. K Slade rocked it one night. And then, you know, Flex was like, yo, that record's tough.
Start dropping bombs on it.
You
spin like Big L on that joint.
Yeah, man. That record is crazy, man. Shout out to Gruff, man. Gruff, always been a fan of Gruff. Gruff is nice, super nice, man. Rest in peace, Big L, too. Shout out to the whole Children of the Corn movement, because that really, like, inspired a lot of Harlem rappers and a lot of artists, you know what I mean? So, and Gruff was a part of that. Shout out to Gruff, shout out to Cam, shout out to Rest in Peace Big L, Rest in Peace Bloodshed, you know, shout out to the Mace, that's the homie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what else is up? You got planned for the future for you though?
Yo, I'm gonna put out the Christening Part 2. The Christening 1, yeah, it gotta. Everybody's saying that's a classic, so I gotta follow up, like right now. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nori. Me and Nori got a New York record.
Word?
Me and Mobb Deep got a New York record.
All right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's never heard of, because I never heard no new, like a Harlem artist do records with,
Queens.
you know what I mean? Yeah, with Queens like that. So shout out to Hav, shout out to Prodigy, Welcome Home, man. Shout out to Nori, man. I got some special records that's about to hit the streets. You know what I mean?
I just heard you might do a song with Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Cheeks. You know, been a fan, and it's always good to work with people I've been a fan of. You know, I came up in the game. I was young, watching, you know, these artists, Cheeks, watching Gruff do their thing. So now I'm getting a chance to actually do production for them. It's kind of cool, because I know they sound, I know their voice, so I know what type of beats to give certain artists. So, you know, it's an advantage of just sitting back doing homework of the game.
I also heard you got your own label though, Eat the Boy Records.
Yeah, Eat the Boy Records, straight independent. You know, Eat the Boy Records was signed to Universal. Shout out to Sylvia and Rome when I had my situation over there. So now we just straight independent now.
All right.
I just put out the first independent album, The Christening. Everybody's saying it's a classic, man. Y'all need to go get that.
Bro, a lot of people know you from producing hits. Now you rapping. You actually spitting though.
See, the first, if you read my story or heard of my story, I've been rapping first. You know, I was signed to an independent company called Big Boss Records in 1992, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's when I was just spitting, and then after that, the label got closed by the feds, and I kind of like took the beat machine and started making beats. So people know me, a couple of people know me from rapping first, but then a lot of people, as you know, the years went on, I just started doing straight production.
Right, I understand.
So, but I always was rapping, but just doing production more. I always do a song here, there, a song there. That's how Pop Champagne came. I was just kind of done with just like, you know, a certain artist wouldn't take certain beats that I thought was hot.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, let me take some of these beats that I think hot, do a record. Then, you know, at the time, auto-tune got hot. Yeah. So I was like, yo, let me just play around with auto-tune. I'm not even serious with it. I'm gonna just play around with it, make some old Harlem fun song or something like that.
It blew up though.
And next thing you know, that record was the #1 record. And shout out to, once again, Jim Jones, shout out to Joel Santana. With that record, I was able to just tour the world with that record, and it was a learning process.
How about the second record you did? You had Jumping Out the Window.
Yeah.
Give me $20.
Yeah, Jumping Out the Window was a smash. Yeah. $20 was a smash. Real talk, when I was signed to Major, it still was like what they wanted to do. Okay. So it wasn't fully all me. Okay. Like they had say so, and when you independent, that's why I'm independent now. You can do what you want, say what you want, make what kind of records you want. The streets like it, they dig it, and you run with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 8 was a record we just recorded.
2 weeks ago.
Slade, rocking it, Flex rocking it. Wow. Enough rocking it. I'm like, that's the single. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's they picked my single out for me. So shout out to them. Record is tough. And you know what I mean? It's not no politics in it or nothing like that. It's just the street. I bring it back to the hip hop, the essence, man. I love hip hop, and people need to start appreciating hip hop more. You know what I mean? It's a big business, but at the end of the day, it comes from the street. It comes from our hearts. This is what we do. You know what I mean? Ape season, that's just gonna be like a movement of dudes just going in on beats and tracks. I think I'm about to just start a whole campaign, right? Ape season. Everybody just going ape. You know, I got millions of beats to just throw away, beats to sell, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just start the whole ape season movement of apes. I have some apes in the Bronx, some apes in Harlem, some apes in Queens, some apes in Long Island, some apes in Brooklyn. I'm gonna just gather a bunch of apes, dudes who can spit, and just take it over, man. That's what I plan on doing with the apes.
You have any advice for any upcoming rappers or producers to try to get in?
Stick to your craft. Like, work on your craft every day. Right. And I can't say that enough. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne put out a little blog, and he was just saying how much he'd be in the studio. You got to take that real serious. Like, up to the point, even up to now, like every day I wake up, I'm in a lab. Before I go to sleep, I'm in a lab just practicing my craft, whether it's writing records or making beats. You got to just stick to your craft. If you're going to do it every day. Like, I do it sometimes. I don't even sleep. I'm up to the next morning. I'm just making beats or writing records. Like, some of my best records and beats were made 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jim Jones. Jim Jones laid his Pop Champagne verse. It was like 6 in the morning. We didn't get out to 9 in the morning. Wow. You know what I mean? So you just got to stay in the studio, man. Just work on your craft. Work on your craft. Try and come up with different things. Sometimes you can follow what's going on. Sometimes you got to go a little left. And I think I went a little left with 8. And I think that's why people digging it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah.
I just bought the album just now. True story.
He ain't going. Yeah. You're not going to be let down when you listen to the Christening. It's one of them albums you can listen from 1 to 18. It's just straight New York, man. I felt like I owed the fans that. I owed New York that, because I think I kind of, went off my sound. I had classic records like Ebonics for Big L, Ether for Nas, I Whip Your Head Boy for 50 Cent, Blow It Out for Ludacris, Playboy Part 1, Playboy Part 2 for Lloyd Banks, Help for Banks. So these records were like New York street records, and I kind of straight out of Southside for the whole G Unit. So I kind of went off my sound for a minute, trying to follow what was going on. And fans used to always block, like, yo, Ron, how come you did Ether, you did Ebonics, you did this, that, and the third? Like, why you doing that type of music? And I was like, this is what was going on. But I was like, after a while, you sit back like, nah, I got to get back on with what I was doing, like what I originally was doing. So that's why it was so natural to do 8, and it just came out natural, and it's not forced. And it's just love Harlem, man. Shout out to whole, 8th Avenue, Manhattan Avenue, aka Money Avenue, 7th, Lenox, 5th, Madison, Lex, 2nd, 3rd. You know what I mean? Shout, because all them blocks inspired me, my different walks of life. Being over this side, being over that side. Knowing these people over there, knowing these people over there. Shout out to the whole Harlem. The different walks of life inspired the Christening too. You know what I mean? When you listen to the album, you'll see what I'm talking about.